else on the road possibly safe as well. So that's some of the big stuff we're looking at here. And then we're also here at a church that has now opened its doors as a cold weather shelter. They are offering some hot meals for anyone that needs some assistance and anyone that just doesn't feel comfortable getting their location wherever they're staying warm, because that's a big thing here as well, is making sure that you're heating your space safely. So if people aren't feeling comfortable or don't have a space for that, churches like this are opening their doors as an option as well. So that's just some of the preparation happening here in Columbia County as it continues to get colder and colder. We've been here for about an hour now, and I can tell you my hands, anything that is exposed is certainly feeling some of that cold.
And just wait, Chris, because I'm watching the radar over here and the snow trajectory, obviously it's going from west to east, and it's just about to get, for people at home who don't know where Columbia County is, that's like Lake City, right at the Big Bend. So I think the other piece, and Chris may have alluded to this, the problem is it's getting dark as the real bad weather comes through, and so if you don't have to be on the roads, obviously, in that area, just don't, because I-10 is a mess to
Even
begin
with the rain, it could be slick out there.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Have you seen a lot of people driving around, Chris?
Yeah, so we made our way over from Jacksonville to Lake City. So we took I-10. We did see multiple Florida Department of Transportation vehicles getting those roads ready for that potential ice. In terms of the amount of people on the road, I mean, we were driving over here in what should have been rush hour traffic. Not too busy in terms of people on the road, but in terms of how people were driving, they're driving like normal Floridians were. I mean, exactly what you expect Florida drivers to do. We had people passing us at significant speed. So that's the big thing that county officials are telling us. I know, in Florida, a lot of people are driving fast, but the big thing is when that ice hits, don't drive faster than you'd be willing to hit something. That's the big thing that they're telling us right now. So while those roads are getting prepped, that ice is still going to be a problem, especially for people not used to it. So once we get into those later hours and that temperature begins to drop, county officials telling people, stay off the roads if you can, but if you have to be on the roads, take your time, leave that space between the car in front of you, and be ready because ice is going to form and that slip could potentially happen.
All right, our reporter Chris Will filling us in on what's happening to the north. Try and stay warm if you can. Thank you.
I know that shower's going to hit when he gets done. Ooh, boy. Well, the later it gets, the colder it'll be tonight. Counties across Florida, as you heard, preparing for possible impacts. Classes, in fact, canceled for Alachua County Public Schools tomorrow because of the winter weather.
News 6's Catherine Silver made the trip to Gainesville today, where people are trying to stay warm.
It may be cold outside, but inside coffee culture on Northwest 13th Street, the drinks are hot.
How's the coffee tasting on a day like today?
Really good. So good. It's exactly what we needed.
A cup of Joe on a cold January day certainly hits the spot.
I think it's too cold.
This is the spot where we met Floridians feeling the winter weather.
Waking up was quite hard. I could feel it through the window. So my window's right by my bed.
Are you reaching into the closet and getting some of those layers out?
Oh, absolutely. I am wearing so many layers right now.
I lived here in 1996.
I think we might have had flurries.
Yeah. If you can call it snow, right?
Exactly.
Do you want the whipped cream on that?
What do you think about this cold weather?
It reminds me of home a little bit. I'm from Kentucky originally, and they had some bad snow last week.
You're probably thinking, this isn't that cold.
Yeah, no, not really.
Whether you're used to it or not, it is a change, enough to make you shiver in the Sunshine State.
It was nice when it was in December and it was Christmas time. I think I'm ready for the sun.
And that's the thing about Florida. Summer is never that far away.
It's really even further north where there is a chance for some snow. Here, there might be some freezing rain, maybe ice, which is when the roads could possibly be a concern. And it never hurts to look at things with some perspective, right? So while it's 57 in Orlando and 47 in Tallahassee and northern Minnesota, it's below zero and 19 degrees in Nebraska. Here in Gainesville, I'm Catherine Silver, getting results, News 6.
Could always be worse.
Yeah, I know perspective's important, but bottom line is it's brutal.
And we're Floridians.
And we're Floridians, and we're allowed to complain, all right? I mean, come on. We do have team coverage that will continue now with meteorologist Jonathan Kegas and Samara Kokinos. So let's start with you, Jonathan. We heard from that reporter from WJXT in Columbia County, which is Lake City area, and I was watching your radar. It's like, yeah, it's kind of approaching. That blue is getting a little close little close to him.
It is, yeah. So we're going to see that probably in the next hour or two. We had it projected about like 8-ish o'clock, give or take, for that rain to turn into that wintry mix, and then eventually to all snow as it works in on the west side of Jacksonville. Right now, it is still heavy snow towards Mobile and Pensacola. It might shut off soon, but they've picked up a lot of snow. You're going to hear that from meteorologist Americo Quinos in just one second. But the cold rain continues for a lot of us in Central Florida as well. The opportunity for a little bit of ice is going to be around tomorrow morning, mainly in Marion County. We're going to highlight that and go hour by hour in just one second. But first, for the historical perspective of this storm, again, a once in probably a couple of lifetimes. Meteorologist Americo Quinos.
We're talking about records from the 1800s being broken here, and it's not just in the state of Florida. We're going to hear it across our Gulf Coast states as well. But when we look at our local here records in the state of Florida, we're talking a 4-inch all-time state record had fell in Milton at about 1954, right? But Pensacola has a record of 3 inches of snowfall February 16th of 1895, and I can tell you that as the day has progressed, all of those will continue to. We're going to notice that those records were falling, and then the snowfall will continue to accumulate as we head into the overnight hours. Looking at just the last hour in terms of ice totals. Okay, this ranges anywhere from Panama City down to about 1/10 or 1/4 of an inch going over to Weehawken. And then as we zoom a little bit closer into the Tallahassee area, it was around 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulating there on the ground. So definitely a situation where they need to be careful. But when we look at the last 12 hours of snowfall totals, that's where you can really tell this story is really being told, because you see the system progressing across the Gulf of Mexico. And when we look from Beaumont, just around 3 inches of snowfall accumulations in the last 12 hours, you get over to New Orleans and ranging anywhere between 6 and up to almost 10 inches of snowfall accumulating there. Zooming in a little bit tighter here into the Panhandle, you'll notice Panama City just a little bit under 3 inches of snowfall accumulations in the last 12 hours. And of course, all these numbers are going to continue to really go up as this system progresses to the east. So when we look at your snowfall totals that we've got in as of right now, New Orleans just under 10 inches, Baton Rouge 8 inches, Gulf Shore 7 inches, Pensacola 5.5 inches, and we anticipate these numbers to continue to go up. Jonathan, I think we'll be seeing some really impressive snowfall totals, especially for the Sunshine State.
Oh yeah, and in fact, Trooper Steve just texted me just a minute ago, and he has a picture of somebody in Pensacola with a tape measure, and it's now pushing a little more than 7 inches of snow. So again, that state record obliterated. We're likely going to double that up because, again, we are still dealing with the heavy snow coming down in the Florida Panhandle, where we have the 6, 7, almost 8-inch snowfall total. So it's an anxious wait to see what the final tally is going to be. There's 7 to 8 o'clock again on your Tuesday evening as we watch those scattered showers for most of Central Florida. Again, that cold driving rain overnight. That is 2 o'clock in the morning on your Wednesday. Same kind of deal. The snow still north of Gainesville. Wintry precip going to try to sneak in here as we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos is going to be pinpointing that for you. And again, that pink sinks down towards much of Marion County into parts of Flagler County as well. Could be some sleet pellets, a little bit of freezing rain as well. The road temperatures, though, likely going to stay above freezing. That is going to help on a widespread scale to not cause widespread issues, because you really need that ground to go below freezing for any kind of travel stuff. Again, it's still going to be slick out there with the rain. It's going to be wild. So again, just keep that in mind tomorrow morning, that it's going to be wet, it's going to be cold, it's going to be windy. 9, 10 o'clock on your Wednesday evening, we're really shutting this thing down again. Road temperatures again to start likely in the mid-30s in Marion County. Again, that's where we're concerned with the most for the potential for a little bit of freezing rain, a little bit of sleet. It's more going to be the elevated surfaces. So do watch out on the bridges, of course, as they will get a little bit colder quicker. And things like your deck. Elevated surfaces, those are going to try to freeze first as we get temperatures to quickly drop below freezing, especially northwest of I-4. In terms of the cold rain, anywhere from a ½ inch to an inch still to come from what is coming our way later tonight, and especially as we get into tomorrow morning. The second part of this, it's the cold. Look at the temperatures. These are actual air temperatures. It's 23 in Pensacola right now, where snow is covering the beach. 54 in Orlando. Still the best place to be is in Miami. Now here's a look at your pinpoint, accurate forecast.
Sponsored by Strata Air Conditioning and Heating. AC emergency? You ought to call Strata.
Wind chills tomorrow also right around 25 to 30 degrees. It's going to be breezy and wet, 52 degrees. Weather alert day tomorrow because of the cold and that winter weather advisory for Marion County. 40% shot for more rain to come in on Thursday. Light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Cold start on Saturday, but we're back to around 60 with the sun. 70s return next week.
All right, Jonathan, thank you. We do want to take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. As Florida braces for the winter storm, schools and universities in northern Florida are canceling classes ahead of the winter weather. Florida State and Florida A&M and Tallahassee canceled classes and suspended all normal operations for both today and tomorrow. Both universities are set to open back up on Thursday while monitoring weather changes.
Good for them, though. I have some cousins who are at FSU getting a little snow
They're probably
day.
loving this.
Hey,
yeah.
it beats a hurricane, that's for sure.
No
I think they can have a
kidding.
little bit more fun. Yeah.
Here are some of the other trending stories right now over on clickorlando.com. This Central Florida school district is canceling outdoor activities due to the cold weather. Marion County Public Schools says incoming colder weather is the reason. And lastly, Brewlando went from an unplanned venture to a growing business. Shara Patak never planned on owning a brewery, but her soft heart led her down this unexpected path. She's now getting ready to open a third and fourth location. You can find out what led her to take on a brewery on our website, clickorlando.com. She was one of our featured guests on Florida Foodie. She just bought Sanford Brewing Company, really expanding. One of the few women-owned breweries in the country.
Yeah. What a cool name, too, Brewlando.
It is.
TM.
And she told us about how she came to that, because it wasn't always Brewlando. It was going to be City Beautiful Brewing.
Check out Lisa's interview.
Yeah, Brewlando's much better.
We'll be right back.
Check out this video of New Orleans' historic Jackson Square covered in snow. People in the Big Easy probably enjoying this before celebrating Mardi Gras. Certainly looks different out there.
I'll tell you what, all those states and, Houston, I know got a lot of snow. We know New Orleans got a lot of snow, Mobile, but you're not in Florida, so you're not getting the headlines tonight. Florida's getting the headlines and continues to get the headlines. And Yeah, because it's just incredible. Not just a little bit of snow either, guys. I mean, we're talking about inches, almost a half a foot in Pensacola.
It's going to be interesting to see if somebody can come in with a double-digit total tonight.
Wow.
We're going to be close to that. I think they have a couple of extra hours to snow in that direction, and snow's coming down still at a pretty good clip. So,
goodness,
it might be close. But regardless, doubling up on the state record already. Crazy.
Crazy.
Thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. You can stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
We break news on clickorlando.com. See you back tonight at 11. Have a great night.